Last week, a few hundred people watched me refuse to explain my nightmare mainframe, so here I am today explaining how the ME system works. So I guess you can call this a mainframe tour / practical tutorial for what a starting setup for A2 looks like in EV. To understand the big ME system, we need to understand the basics of the ME system. So this is a basic layout of the stuff you'll have in EV. The heart of the system is the ME controller. This is technically a multi-block with weird rules, but for now we're just gonna work with a one block. You can put power directly into it, or you can use an energy acceptor. And the only reason to do that is just to make room for more channels. Channels are a made-up currency that the ME controller supplies to things on the network. Without a channel, a component will not work. Each face of the controller supplies 32 channels. Most components will just use one, sometimes they use 0. Most of these cables will carry 8, but these dense cables coming out will carry 32. If you build the network viz tool, you can pull up an easy display of channels in use. Now this will show the number for how many channels are being used. It's not the number of channels available. So this has 32 available. It's just using 16 right now. We have our terminals here. These are how you and your end users will interact with the system. The basic terminal lets you take items in and out. The crafting terminal does the same thing but comes with a 3x3. The pattern terminal and the interface terminal are used for setting up auto crafting, so more on that in a sec. Back here where your items live, these are drives. They cost like 4 titanium each, and they can hold up to 630 different kinds of items per block. Inside these drives are cells that can be partitioned to hold specific items or left alone to just do whatever. These cells come in different sizes, but each one holds the same number of item types. There's also cells and components for handling Essentia for magical applications, as well as when you reach IV, fluid. Drives will connect to each other, so typically you'll find them like this in these racks of 8. You can see each one uses a channel. Let's get into auto crafting. So first thing we need is crafting storage. Every crafting recipe takes up some kind of data. It's a little weird, but basically the bigger the crafting tree, the more data it takes up. So these are expandable, so the only rule to this is it's kind of like a multi-block. The only rule is it has to be a rectangular prism. So I've got an HV bending machine here. It's got power. Ignore that it doesn't look like it does. So we actually need to set this up. So we have our interface, which stores the patterns the machine is going to use. So we have to wrench the machine so it faces the interface. We have to screwdriver it so it can IO on one side. And we have to set it to item auto output so that it actually does that. We have to set our ghost circuit, and it's important to note that the ME system can't mess with ghost circuits, molds, or lenses at this point, so you got to prepare to make a lot of copies of your single blocks. You're going to end up with something that looks like this. Since our machine is set up, we can start playing with patterns. We can pattern up to 9 recipes in this interface, which we can increase up to 36 with pattern capacity cards, which are kind of gated behind platinum and radon. So we're going to go over to our pattern terminal, and we're going to make a processing pattern. Note that you can, if you have a molecular assembler, you can use crafting patterns for 3x3 recipes, but for everything else, you're going to want to use a processing pattern. So we're going to pattern here for 1 titanium ingot becomes, you can drag this in, 1 titanium plate, and then that's a pattern. Let's make another one while we're at it. 1 titanium plate becomes 4 titanium foil. I don't need that. So we have 2 patterns here. Now we could walk all the way over to the interface, but it's all the way over there. My legs hurt, so I'm going to go to my interface terminal and I'm just going to plug these right in. So now we can go to any of these terminals and say, I want a titanium plate. It's just gonna make that. I don't even need the titanium plate in here to craft the foil. It'll just do it automatically. So it's gonna craft this and it's gonna craft that. Easy. Now that we're through the basics, I'm going to show off how I use AE2 in practice. So I have my single block ME controller. It's being powered by benzene. I don't have an energy acceptor right now. I just have it going straight in. I have my drives here. These are partitioned, and I can actually show this off. So if you take a cell, you can put it in a cell workbench and say, I want these items to go in this cell. And you can put it in the ME chest just to put specific items in that cell if you like. Makes it easy. Back here I have my molecular assembler, which will do shaped recipes. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm not actually making right now. And over here I have a drawer controller, which is basically just backup storage. If all my cells get full without me realizing, this will start to fill up. These are not efficient, don't make them. They are also very laggy, and I think if you make them on official servers, they will like destroy you. Back here's the clean room. This is connected wirelessly, so I don't lose any efficiency. And then I just have the circuit assembler, cutting machine. I haven't figured out the laser engraver yet, because like I said, you can't have this deal with lenses, so I don't even have this interface yet. One thing of note is, since the ME system can't deal with fluids right now, I have to manually supply these with lubricant, molten lead, and over here I have this full of polyethylene. And these are my single blocks. These are all LV. I'm actually about to upgrade these to HV, but these are all just on a benzene supply. And then for the rest of the system, it's just it's all just terminals all the way up. So that kind of covers the state of AE2 and EV. I was a little lost starting out, so I hope this kind of helps anyone just getting into EV. If you're coming over from Zoldier's channel, thanks for stopping by. And if you aren't, go subscribe to my friend Zoldier and watch everybody yell at me for like 3 hours.